Hey, Pastor Steve Waldron. I hope you're having an incredible day or night in Jesus. I picked this up at a yard sale the other day. I think it was $1, and it was in almost totally mint condition, and they put one in free, which I'm giving to a young minister at church. And it is the Educator's Lifetime Library of Stories, Quotes, Anecdotes, Wit, and Humor by Susan Mamchak and Stephen R. Mamchak. And so it's got over 1,000 stories, quotes, and anecdotes for every occasion. I have always loved books like this, like Apples of Gold, Wings of Silver, The Treasury of Success, Bartlett's quotation book, on and so forth. So again, it's almost in perfect mint. And it's got pictures of them in here. So let's get started. Let's take a look what's in here. So about the authors, personalized behavioral modification, practical techniques for elementary educators, handbook of discovery techniques in elementary school teaching. Parker Publishing House, West Nyack, New York. Educator's Lifetime Library. Done in '79, and as weird as that sounds, that was 45 years ago. So it's got the appearance of an old book. Good print, though. How this book will be helpful to professional educators, and it's just really good. So that's good. It's got a little mnemonic device here. Preparing and pinpointing your topic, researching for success, examples and their use, presentation and poise, analyzing your audience, relaxing and enjoying yourself, and enthusiasm and empathy, keys to success. Sounds very much like Bruce Wilkinson's 7 Laws of the Learner, which is phenomenal. Brother Sidney Poe, one of the greatest men who's ever walked the earth, and his wonderful family, he taught that. It was like a thing I had to do, listen to this. He had it wrapped in tinfoil back in 1987 so I could graduate. I had to do 40-some hours my last semester at Bible College, Jackson College of Ministries. And it was the 7 Laws of the Learner. And so I probably can't remember them now. That's been, 39 years ago. Learner, 37 years ago. Learner-oriented, expectation-oriented, application-oriented, retention-oriented, need-oriented, end-time-oriented, revival-oriented. 7 Laws of the Learner. I do remember it. Wilkinson, just amazing. So is Poe. Absent-minded. What did you do with the car? Asked the professor's wife. I'm sorry, remarked the professor quizzically, but did I take the car with me this morning? You certainly did. You drove it to the campus. Now I remember, exclaimed the professor. It did strike me as odd that the man who had given me a lift drove off before I could thank him. Absent-mindedness. I have been so busy before. I've parked my car, walked in the hospital, did visitation, come back, couldn't find my keys in the pocket, got to the car and it was still running. So I can relate. More absent-mindedness. Then there was the professor who was so absent-minded that he couldn't take a shower because he could never find the pocket in which he had left the soap. Now, I will say, in reading through this, man, probably about 1 out of 5 is usable. Most of these are really bad. But as Brother Mooney would say, man, you use 2 of them. It's worth $1, isn't it? At the reunion, the professor was complaining to an alumnus whom he had just met. I have a student named Jones, he said. He's the laziest, most good-for-nothing, undisciplined. Henry, whispered one of his colleagues. You've done it again, don't you remember? That's the boy's father. But then, continued the professor without hesitation, every great man has had his faults. Now that one's kind of cute, isn't it? We'll read one more about absent-mindedness. As the professor corrected his class's midterm exams, his wife burst into the room, angrily waving the college newspaper. I don't know why, I just thought of Brother and Sister Kilman as I was reading this. Just look at this, she shouted. They've announced your death on the front page. Why bother me, said the professor without looking up. Just send flowers and a note of condolence. Now this is absenteeism. Of course, There was the absentee who claimed the reason he had played hooky, what his mind wondered, and he followed it. Okay, I have to admit I like it. It does have an index. It's over 300 pages. You can look at vacation, values, veins, verbosity, raccoons, readers, reading, rebellion. What to do if you're faced with a tired or restless audience. This could be some of you. While these two audiences are not entirely alike, the problems they pose to the speaker and the speaker's solutions to those problems are somewhat similar. First, let's define terms. A tired audience has usually been sitting or has been involved in a program for some length of time. They have been called upon by others to give their attention to a particular matter, and now you're going to do the same thing. Everything about them is telling you they've had enough concentrating. The restless audience, on the other hand, preachers should listen to this, usually has an axe to grind. They want to get out of there, but you have to speak first. They've only come back from lunch or a break, have it settled into the program. They want to hear a particular speaker who's coming up just after your speech. The last event speakers excited them. I remember one time, a great preacher preached in front of Brother Mooney. It was kind of similar. It was Johnny James, which Brother Mooney always was a great speaker too. The solution to handling the tired audience may seem strange at first, but we've seen it work, and we've used it effectively ourselves. 2 steps. Acknowledge they're tired and call for a stretch break. Do that in church sometime. Hey, God bless. Little bits of wisdom, and we'll talk with you later. God bless. Bye-bye.